Good morning and welcome to
Power supply.
Power Supply.
Power supply.
Today on the test bench we've got broken Blu-ray player.
Puts the disc in and just goes.
Yeah, it's not, the CD tray's not opening properly and it's not reading discs anymore, so we've got the screwdrivers. Let's get it done. So I've not done anything like this before. Well, I reckon I last took a disc player apart when I was about 12, and that was a destructive disassembly. But this one I want to try and put it back together. So let's get it undone. We have taken disc player items.
No.
There we go, look, get some of these little screws. Only 2 screws in the outer casing by the looks of it. Could you go and get me a little dish from the kitchen or a bowl, please?
Yeah.
We don't want to lose these screws, do we?
They're important.
They're very important. It's broken, so it doesn't matter if I break it. I've got to buy a new one anyway, so. Thank you, sweetie. Keep them in there.
Right now, can you just take something?
I'm going to take these ones off the back and this should lift off the top. So that's right. Oh. It's been doing my head in for about 3 years, this not opening properly, so it's quite
Have
good.
to go like.
Yeah, we keep smashing it, don't we? There we go. Careful to break the front. So I'm just going to pull out.
First, I have to.
Oh, there's some plastic clips in there.
Right at the back.
At the front, I think I might have left it from the front. Oh, let's put the clips under here. See these plastic bits? Look, I think we need to loosen the front first, maybe.
Maybe I have to take it off at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, that's. I don't know.
Screws.
There we go.
Yeah.
Lid off. So what we got? Let's have a look. A lot of microchips and stuff in there, isn't there? So first of all, I think
it's supposed to be bent like that.
Yeah, no, microchips, they're often a little bit wonky. So what I think we'll do, because I'm pretty limited in my microelectronics knowledge, we'll pull this out, we'll grease that up, we'll clean the band, because if, hang on, let's have a, hang on. I'm going to have to plug this in, hang on. Dangerous. Right, on the back here, if you look, there's a warning, move your finger. It says, risk of electric shock, do not open. But I need to plug it in to see it working, so.
What happens if you do get electric shock?
Phone an ambulance. I don't know why you're laughing. Right, off of the plug.
Yeah.
Plug it in. So what I'm going to do is be very careful not to touch any of the insides. I'm literally just going to switch it on and press eject. So here we go. Let's turn it on at the plug.
Oh.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Turn it on.
Oh. Oh.
Yes, we. So, and then we press open.
Open. Don't put your finger there, Dad.
No disc.
Yeah, it looks like it must be.
So there's a little band in here.
Must be stuck or something.
Yeah. So what I'm now going to do is turn it off.
Unplug it, and then we might have to unscrew this.
So now this is open. I think what I can do is push it, because I can see that band there is really loose. Can you see how loose that is?
Yeah.
So that we need to get a new band for that. But in the meantime, we can just give it a little clean. Because
easy to take this.
it might be a little bit dirty. It looks a bit shiny. So we'll give that a little clean, and hopefully that'll help that grip. And also we need to try and get to where the laser is, Emily.
What's the laser?
The laser, I think, is here. Can that move that out? Yeah, that's there, look. Oh, I can't get to that either. Laser's just under there, so I should be able to I reckon, take this off. I've literally no idea what I'm doing here. I haven't even Googled anything to give me any tips, so making it up as we go along. Because the other thing, sometimes it doesn't spin the discs very well, so.
It was earlier.
There we go. So we can just give these, make sure there's no dust or anything funny untoward in there. So, okay, Ems, I think we've got everything we need to do. So let's give this a clean. All right, I've also just noticed, so on the underside of this tray, you see there's a toothed ridge. Well, that's what this little cog here uses to open and shut the door, but I don't know if you can see, but oh, where are we? I've started to clean it because in here, look, there's lots of little bits of dirt, so I'm just cleaning that cog out as well, just to make sure that that's not going to cause any jamming. Right, so now I'm going to clean the lasers. Now, I probably haven't got the best stuff here, but what I've got is just some optical lens cleaner. I'm just going to spray it on the end of a Q-tip and then just very gently wipe it over. Make sure that I don't saturate it. So I sprayed it on here. I'm just going to dab it. Just get some excess off. Oh, there's some really thin wires on there. Like I said, I have no idea if this can make any difference at all, but we shall see. Again, I've got a similar issue with my PlayStation 2, and what they've said in there is actually sometimes you need to make some fine adjustments to these little controls here on the circuit board, but I'm not going to worry about that on this now because I've got no idea about that at all. So there we go, just give it a dry. We shall see. Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get a Q-tip and I'll show this. I've got the lubricant stuff here. I'm literally, not for these lenses, but I'm literally just going to put a very, very, come on focus you, there we go. Oh, very, very small amount of grease on here. And then I'm just going to run it over the contact surfaces on the back of the CD tray. So there's the CD tray. So these are the runners here. As you can see where it just slots in. So I'm just going to put a very, very small smidge on there. That's all. I don't want any residue of grease on there. Literally just to coat it, because we don't want that all coming off over the inner working. So I just make sure that's got no, if you can see that, I don't want any grease build up in there at all. It's just to provide a sheen. Right, I think that's it for the minute. Okay, I don't know if you remember this bit that I took off quite early on, sat over the top of this, and what that pushes up and clamps the CD in here. What I've done is this has just popped out. It's got these little clips here, they just pushed in and that's come out, and I've given that a clean. And again, that was pretty grimy, so again I'm just gonna put a very kiss of grease on there just to help that spin, because sometimes with this it was really vibrating and sounded rough when the discs were spinning. So let's see what that does. Yeah, just to show, when I say I've put a small amount of grease on it, I mean you can just, I don't know if you can see, but there's absolutely no like built up residue. It just looks ever so slightly shiny. I literally put a tiny bit on and then wiped it off, just to give it a bit of surface coverage. Right, so the last thing that I said I was going to do before I now put all this back together is just make sure that all of these cable connectors are push fit. So, I mean, literally, and this is not scientific at all, literally just going to undo that. I'll get back in again, and then if there is any oxidization building up in there, hopefully it'll just reseat it and make sure that everything's plugged in properly. Carefully don't break these, pick them off by the, some of them have little lock catches in. That one doesn't by the looks of it. I've unplugged it as well, by the way. close that up. Don't even need to bring it all the way out, just enough to move it and just reseat it. Do this side. This is where I break stuff. I normally want to do stuff like this. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so there's a few of these. Just got to be really careful. Don't pull them out by the cables. Just give them a wiggle. That one. There's a micro connector or whatever it's called. I'm going to undo that one. Just give them a little wiggle. Oh yeah, look at this bad boy. Right, I'm going to stop fiddling with this now before I do actually break the thing. First thing to put back on. Right, I'm just going to clean my hands because I don't want to get any grease on the on that rubber band. Let's give them a wipe. Now this was going to be on here, isn't it? That's it, around there. Make sure that's not twisted. Yeah, that's definitely too floppy. That's why that's not working very well. But hopefully now that's all clean and it's got a little bit of lubrication on it, hopefully we'll get there. So now I've got to line this up. So that little knobble there has got to go into that groove there. So it's right on the edge. So I can just manoeuvre that in there. Click. And then hopefully we push that, it'll then, there we go. Oh no. Right, let's plug that back in. Just test it, ejects okay. This would be a good test because it didn't open properly last time, did it? Let's turn it on. Wow, lasers. Don't look at the lasers, man. Right, eject. Oh, that come out all the way? It did. Close. Oh, well that's looking hopeful. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this back on and I'm going to go and get a disc and see if it works. Be back in a sec. So just putting these screws back in, and I've got to be careful not to over tighten this stuff because it is just plastic at the end of the day. You don't want to go, just, you know, just tight enough. There we go, doing gradually. Right, let's see what we can do, shall we? That's opened. Right, first thing that wouldn't play the other day was a DVD. So let's try DVD, just see if it recognises the disc. Closed. It didn't get this far last time. Unknown disc, oh for Christ's sake. At least the tray's opening. Let's have a look at the Blu-ray, see if that works. Bit of Foo Fighters for you. Oh, that wasn't very good, was it? At least he's trying. Now, what have I done wrong there then, do you reckon? It doesn't look like the tray's moving up to grab the disc properly from the bottom, does it? So let's have a look, see what I've done wrong. Right, so I think I might have sussed what the problem is. So as part of this mechanism, it's this bit of plastic here that makes the tray lift up. And in here, don't know if you can see, I've given it a little bit of a wipe, but there's a load of built up residue in here at the top of that little slide where the pin runs up here. So I'm just going to try giving that a clean. If that doesn't work, I think I've broken it, so we'll see how we go. Right, so the other thing I've just realised how this whole mechanism works is this cog here not only opens and shuts the CD tray, but also moves this bit here, which actually makes it go up and down. Watch. Yeah, so that wasn't going all the way up. So what I'm thinking is, when I lined this pin up with the CD tray, it must just not have been quite enough on in line with this cog here, so it wasn't quite getting to the top. So I need to just have a little bit of a fiddle around when I put the CD tray in and line this up to make sure that it's biting with this cog at the right point. So a bit of trial and error, I think, on this one. See how we go. Right, I think that's definitely what the issue is, because I've just put it back in slightly differently, and now when I'm pushing it in, it's lifting it up and stopping it closing. So that's definitely, hopefully, what the problem is. Just need to make sure that cog is lined up properly. So let's try again. Right, so just put it back and it was worse, but I just looked up and on the underside of the lid I've seen this little bit of sponge. So I'm just thinking whether that actually presses down on the bit of plastic on the top and makes it grip, because it's in roughly the same place. So I'm going to put the lid on and see if it works. Right, so slip the lid on. Let's just see if this works now, shall we? Not ideal, is that? No. So actually, one of the advantages of filming yourself is because you can look back over what you've done. And I've put this thing in here upside down. Whee! So let's get that switched out, and yeah, what an idiot. Right, let's try again. Boom! Right, so that's recognised that as a Blu-ray disc, so that's excellent. So let's try and get that back out. Oh, no, come on. Boom, I'm not happy with that. Let's just try the DVD again and see if that now works. But it might just be this disc. Oh, that's running so much better than it was before. It's recognised as DVD, it's fixed! Boom-balicious, look! Yes, Bob. Awesome. Fixed it!
So what?
Hey, yeah, look! High five! So I was going to put that back, put the lid back on. Sorted. That saved me 300 quid, Ems.
Yeah.
Over and out. So there we go, all done. I'm just going to give it a clean because it's pretty dirty, but I'm well happy with that. So yeah, little tutorial in making it up as you're going along, giving it a go, learning from your mistakes. Happy days.